Hey guys, I'm Paul the Motor Guy. Now I know there's many riders out there that don't believe in using the horn, and you'll be hard pressed to find a video on this topic. Now the purpose of this video is to make you think outside the box a little when it comes to the horn. In this video, I'm going to share my opinion on the use of the horn and give you some things to think about. And I'm also going to share my practice routine when it comes to the horn. So hang tight. So let me ask you a question. How many of you can operate your turn signal and your horn without taking your eyes off the road? Many of you don't have a problem operating your turn signals without looking down, but that's not the case when it comes to operating the horn. Now I believe this is because we use our turn signals way more than our horn, so we build up muscle memory. If I asked all my subscribers to sit on their motorcycles as if they're riding down the road, and then asked them to hit their horn, a vast majority of you would have to look down to hit it. Depending on what type of bike you have, there may only be a half an inch separating the turn signal from the horn. Now the horn can also be located in different places depending on what type of bike you're on. So let me show you what I mean. Here's your horn on a 2013 Harley Ultra Limited. Now this is the horn on my 2012 Road King and my 2011 Kawasaki Concourse. For my work bike, I not only have the turn signal and the horn, but I have a push to talk button for the radio. So I have 3 buttons I need to contend with throughout the day. So let me ask you another question. How many of you have tried to hit the horn but ended up hitting your turn signal instead? Now I believe this happens because, as I said earlier, we use our turn signals way more than we use our horn. So when that car starts to pull out into our lane of travel and stress comes, our brain reverts back to what we do the most. So we end up hitting the turn signal. Now would you agree that the times we need the horn is almost always at a time of possible crisis? It's either because the vehicle is getting ready to pull out in our lane of travel or the vehicle is drifting into our lane. No matter what the situation is, being able to locate and operate the horn could be critical in preventing a crash. Now, I rarely use the horn by itself. If I use it, it will be in conjunction with some type of evasive maneuver that creates space for me. So let me give an example. I was riding in the left lane, passing a van that was to my right. As I was passing the van, it started to change lanes into my lane of travel. As I felt this, I laid on the horn as I moved left to create space, and I rolled on the throttle to escape the kill zone. Now in this situation, I gave myself 3 chances to overcome it. I had the horn, my evasive maneuver, and rolled on the throttle that created space. I will always take 3 chances over 1 or 2 all day, every day. Now let me talk about some common things I hear when it comes to not using the horn. The first one is, I don't mess with the horn. I just roll on the throttle. Okay, so let's say you're just starting to pass the school bus when it starts to change lanes into your lane of travel. Your chance of completing the pass before the bus starts to change lanes is slim. How about this one? In the time it takes me to hit the horn, I can just avoid the hazard. Well, I would say to that the horn is more useful when you can predict the hazard before it actually becomes a hazard. If the vehicle has already pulled out into your lane, then it's too late to use the horn. You just need to be concerned with avoiding the hazard. Now, riders also say that their horn isn't loud enough. So to that, I'll say, buy a louder horn. So now let me talk about my practice routine I use when it comes to the horn. So for work, we take our bikes home. So I'll pick 2 days out of my work week, and what I do is I ride and I run scenarios in my head. So as I'm riding, I say, okay, this vehicle now is coming into my lane. There's the horn. I touch the horn, but I don't press it. Now I ride a little bit more. I say, okay, this vehicle get ready to pull out in front of me. There's my horn. And I do this about 5 or 6 times, twice a week. So by doing this, I'm doing 2 things. One is I'm conditioning myself to where the horn is located. The next thing is I'm running scenarios in my head and the brain doesn't know if they're real or not. All it knows is the scenarios that I'm giving it and the reaction to those scenarios. I can't tell you how many times I've been riding and hit the horn and didn't even have to think about it because my brain's already seen it and processed it. Now, when I'm in a curve and I'm next to a vehicle, I will cover my horn while I'm in my lane. For one, I don't practice hitting my horn when the bike's leaned over, so it'll help me maybe not miss the horn, and it saves me that split second of having to reach up and hit it. Now bear with me as I give you another example that will highlight this video. I was riding to work with one of my guys and it was still dark outside. And we're traveling on one of the busiest highways in the city. We're passing a vehicle that was behind an 18-wheeler. And as we started to pass, the vehicle started to move over into our lane to pass the truck. I again laid on the horn as we started to move to the right to give ourselves space. And then the vehicle suddenly jerked back into its lane. Now, when we got where we're going, the guy next to me said, "Shoo, sorry, that was a close one." Now, the way the vehicle reacted, I don't think he ever saw us. I think he heard the horn. Now, what if I would have missed the horn? Or what if I didn't even try to use the horn at all? Who knows? Now, I look at the horn as another layer of protection. Sometimes it's the small things that saves us. Now, you may have a different opinion when it comes to this topic, and that's okay. We all have reasons why we do the things that we do. I just wanted to give you a different perspective. Now, I hope this video was helpful, and I want to thank you for taking the time to watch. Now, until next time, you got it. Practice, 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 and ride safe.